This is CEMTV News at 7.
CEMTV News, truth first, you next, stay informed to stay empowered. Hello and welcome to CEMTV News at 7. I am Miracle Wobo. Let's take a look at the highlights. Governor Fubara urges party to respect Rivers reconciliation process, says peace remains central to development. President Tinubu directs EFCC recoveries, demands funds to Nigeria Education Loan Fund. Brazil bus crash kills at least 23, injures 5 in Paraná State. We'll bring you details of these stories and more in a moment. Stay tuned. Welcome back. We begin the news from Rivers State, where the state's governor, Sir Siminalayi Fubara, has commissioned Center for Vocational Skill Acquisition and Entrepreneurship Building, School of Engineering Technology, and Governing Council Building at Elechi Amadi Polytechnic, Rumola. The governor urged students to protect the facility and make meaningful use of it for their future. Our correspondent now reports.
The commissioning ceremony, which held on Wednesday, attracted former and serving government officials, traditional rulers, members of the Rivers State House of Assembly, commissioners, permanent secretaries, local government council chairmen, women groups, principal officers, former Deputy Governor of Rivers State, Honorable Tele Ikuru, staff and students of the Polytechnic. The arrival of Governor Fubara and his deputy, Honorable Ngozi Odo, was greeted with songs, cheers, and expressions of support from guests at the venue. The chairman of the Governing Council of Captain Elechi Amadi Polytechnic, Honorable Evangelist Hope O. Ikiriko, described the institution as a pregnant woman ready to deliver a beautiful baby, while expressing appreciation to the governor and his deputy for attending the commissioning in person.
Your Excellency, today you have not only added one feather to your crown for the numerous projects you have actualized for the people of Rivers State. You have taken another bold step in sustaining the culture of revolutionizing development in Rivers State, as initiated by your worthy predecessor, our leader, the one and only Mr. Project of our time, and the current FCT Minister, Chief Minister Joseph Wike. And for this, we thank you, Your Excellency.
Governor Fubara, in his remarks, said his background as a teacher has deepened his commitment to education, stressing that government projects must go beyond construction to deliver positive impact on people's lives.
As a government, what is important to us is not just about embarking on projects, but projects that will touch the life, projects that will solve problems, projects that will bring advancements in our lives. I personally took it upon myself to say that if I have to do anything here, it should be something that will have value. And I'm very happy that the management of this school appreciates today. What is the purpose of the Intercolonial Center? It is a place where we prepare our own people. When you're through with that, you create your own business. You don't need to start sending letters. You don't need to start sending me tests that I promised 10,000 employment of civil servants. 10,000 employment of civil servants of who? Admin officer. We're talking about technical issues. We need doctors, we need teachers, well-prepared teachers. If we're employing, we need accountants. Accountants can't even be everywhere. Technology has taken over everything.
The governor said the new facilities were designed to provide a conducive environment for students to build strong educational and entrepreneurial foundations. He described the project as belonging to the Polytechnic and its students, urging them to protect and sustain the facilities so that future generations would benefit from the legacy left behind.
So if we have to prepare our youth, we have to prepare our dear states for the challenge ahead, our program has to be very strategic. So I have to say that I'm very happy that the little thing we're able to do here is really, really appreciated. I would also want to appeal to the school authority here. You also solved my problem when you said Rome was not built in a day. So therefore, borrowing from that, you know that all your requests I can attend to it. But the most important thing is that we have done something. We also try to see any other thing we can add to what we have already done for you. Very special NGA that gave me this opportunity. Maybe it's an opportunity for me to say thank you again. I will continue to be grateful for this wonderful opportunity you gave to me.
In his opening remarks, the chairman of Obiakpo Local Government Area, Honorable Gift Walu, recognized the dignitaries and other stakeholders at the event, assuring the governor that the Polytechnic would focus on producing job creators rather than job seekers.
What you have done shows that you really appreciate the times that we are in, a time when there is high levels of unemployment. This critical intervention, I believe, is aimed at ensuring that this Polytechnic stops from today to produce job seekers and will start to produce job creators.
The Honorable Commissioner of Education, Honorable Peter Nwagwo, appreciated the governor's impactful project, terming it as a clear testament to his commitment to providing sustainable infrastructure across the state.
I wish to sincerely appreciate you for your commitment to the timely release of funds for the completion of this monumental project. This project is a clear testament of your administration's unwavering commitment to providing quality education, improving learning facilities, and promoting sustainable infrastructural development across the state.
The rector of the Polytechnic, Dr. Moses S. Wiebe, said the commissioning covered 3 major projects and marks the first of such commissioning at the institution in about 2 decades. He noted that the Polytechnic, established in 1977, had passed through several developmental phases and expressed gratitude to the state government for the new projects.
To us, the benefits of these projects are enormous, as they have not only given a facelift to the fiscal environment, but has also increased our ability to meet infrastructural requirements for more academic programs, as well as to provide our students with conducive facilities for acquiring the much desired practical and technical skills. Our newly completed Government Council building has facilities for Government Council chambers, academic boardroom, and a conference hall, thereby providing us comfort while holding meetings and events of the Polytechnic in conducive atmospheres.
The commissioning therefore marks a significant milestone in the Polytechnic's development and the state government's efforts to strengthen skills and entrepreneurship development amongst young people. Speaking with Honorable Ezebunwo Chemati on the importance of the project, he stated that the governor does not just want the people of Rivers State to enjoy the dividends of democracy on road constructions, but also in the aspect of education.
The governor is diversifying governance, and today you can see that we are in Captain Elechi Amadi's Polytechnic, where the governor has constructed the Senate building for the School of Engineering Technology, and other buildings to accommodate education here. It boils down to one thing: the governor wants the people of Rivers State to not just enjoy dividends of democracy in road construction, but enhancing the educational quality of Rivers State indigents.
The presence and activities of Vehicle Inspection Officers (VIO) on roads in Port Harcourt have continued to attract mixed reactions from residents, while some residents question the legality of VIO officers stopping motorists on the road. A legal practitioner, Barrister Chris, says their operations are guided by relevant laws and that the power of VIO officers should be clearly understood by both the officers and the public. Our correspondent now reports.
No, madam, wait. I said, come out. I didn't do any other. I said, come out from the way. Let me back.
Here was not where we stopped her. There, before she even cleared, it took us time. Okay, finally, she cleared. Okay, open the door. Let me come in and see. So that we understand that was that she refused. until finally
the way you were going about, I am not feeling fair.
I can't stand there because of other vehicles. I can't stand there because of other vehicles. I have to turn.
The operations of Vehicle Inspection Officers (VIO) on Port Harcourt roads have generated mixed reactions among residents. Barrister Chris said VIO operatives on the relevant laws, adding that court orders restricting its activities in some parts of the country may not automatically apply to Rivers State. He explained that the primary duty of VIO is to inspect vehicles for roadworthiness and safety, including checking lights, horns, windscreen, and other vehicle components. He called for better training of VIO officers and public education on their responsibilities, stressing that officers who exceed their official duties should face disciplinary action.
Like the road safety, where you have a federal legislation that covers for federal roads the activities of road safety officers, safety calls, on federal roads. There was, of course, this issue whether officers of the road safety can function on state roads. I think that matter got to the Court of Appeal, where the Court of Appeal held that the activities of federal road safety call should be restricted to federal roads. So, besides federal road safety officers, there is a provision for VIO officers, that is vehicle inspection officers, made by Lagos State, Rivers State, I think Ogun State, and several number of states. The House of Assembly has made that provision for the operation of those officers, and of course it dates back to the regional government, where regional government had vehicle inspection officers, and then upon the creation of states, also different states, vehicle inspection, as it were, is something within the residual legislative list, which being, since it is now under the exclusive list and the concurrent list. Of course, the exclusive list are legislative matters in which the National Assembly can legislate upon exclusively, and then the concurrent list is matters where both National Assembly and the state houses of assembly can legislate upon. There is need for the monitoring of their activities to ensure that they are doing their job, right? And they are not going beyond the ambit, beyond the limits of their job as stated in their enabling law that established them, right? To make sure they do not cause citizens hardship, they do not, cause fright. Citizens are not even frightened to ply the road. They do not see that as a means to extort money from citizens. I think that that law, the House of Assembly, needs to look at that law. The business of lawmaking is a continuous process, right? There may be need to review the law and see how they can better operate. There may also be need for proper remuneration. How much are they paid as officers, as members of that organization created by law.
Meanwhile, some residents questioned the authority of VIO officers to stop motorists for document checks, while others raised concerns that their activities could contribute to traffic congestion.
They're not supposed to be inside the town, they are supposed to be in the border. But since court has asked them to leave the road, they don't want to leave the road. They are causing obstruction in the road. If you go to water lines, you see them. They are in water lines, Jerry Junction, causing obstruction everywhere. When they come, you see 20 of them, 15 of them with cane, stopping vehicle asking vehicle for vehicle particulars, expiring tire, and all the rest. So they are not supposed to be inside the town. They are supposed to be in the border. And I heard that court has stopped them not to stay inside the town. But I see no reason why they are still inside the town. Yeah, they are doing something. They are not supposed to be inside the town. If they want to work, let them go to border. That's where they are supposed to be.
On the national scene, President Bola Tinubu has directed that funds recovered by Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC), as well as unclaimed dividends and money in dormant bank accounts, be channeled to the Nigerian Education Loan Fund (NEL Fund). The directive is aimed at strengthening the financing of the federal government student loan scheme and ensuring that more Nigerian students can access funding for tertiary education. The move is to improve NEL Fund with additional resources to expand its loan program as demand for student finances continues to grow, and also signal the administration's intention to deploy recovered and otherwise idle public funds towards education and human capital development. The directive comes as NEL Fund continues to disburse billions of naira in institutional fees and student upkeep allowances to beneficiaries across public tertiary institutions. In another development, President Bola Tinubu has appointed Abel Olumuyiwa Enitan as new head of Civil Service of the Federation, effective August 27, 2026. Enitan, who succeeded Didi Esther Wilson-Jack, is due to retire from the Federal Civil Service after attaining the statutory retirement age of 60. The new head of service is currently the permanent secretary in the Federal Ministry of Education and is the most senior permanent secretary in the Federal Civil Service. Enitan has served as a permanent secretary for 7 years and 7 months, during which he worked at the Ministry of Police Affairs, Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, and the Office of the Vice President. According to the presidency, his extensive experience has given him considerable institutional knowledge and a deep understanding of the operations of the Federal Civil Service. The federal government has commenced the construction of 250 two-bedroom bungalows for federal civil servants under the renewed Hope Civil Service Estate in Gwagwalada, Abuja. The Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Mutaka Darman, says the project was part of the federal government's broader housing intervention across the 36 states of the Federation. Speaking at the groundbreaking ceremony in Abuja, Darman explained that the Civil Service Estate is designed to provide affordable housing for civil servants while improving efficiency within the public service. The minister charged contractors, supervisors, and consultants involved in the project to ensure quality construction and durability. Darman also assured Nigerians that the ministry would deliver on the housing mandate of President Bola Tinubu's administration, stressing that the government would not only make promises but ensure their implementation. In education, the Director General of the National Youth Service Corps (NYSC), Brigadier General Olakunle Oluseye Nafiu, has urged corps members to exercise caution in their use of social media ahead of the 2027 general elections. Speaking during his working visit to the 2026 Batch B Stream 2 orientation course at the NYSC Permanent Orientation Camp in Katsina, Brigadier General Nafiu described corps members as critical stakeholders in shaping Nigeria's future and called on them to think critically before reposting or forwarding online content. He warned them against spreading misinformation, sharing artificial intelligence, AI-generated content, or engaging in partisan political activities. The Director General stressed that with the rapid advancements of artificial intelligence, manipulated images and videos have become increasingly common, making it imperative for young Nigerians to verify information before sharing it. He reminded them that many corps members will serve as ad hoc electoral personnel during the next general election, describing the assignment as a rare privilege to strengthen Nigeria's democracy. Now in politics, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has commenced a 2-day strategic communication workshop for each state-level voter education and publicity officer as part of preparation for the 2027 general election. The workshop, which began in Abuja, is focused on strengthening the capacity of communication officers to tackle misinformation and disinformation while improving voter confidence in the electoral process. Declaring the workshop open, National Commissioner and Chairman of the Information and Voter Education Committee, Mohammed Kudu Haruna, says effective communication would be critical as the Commission prepares for the 2027 election. Haruna says INEC was facing several operational challenges, including funding constraints under the envelope budgeting system, a growing electorate, and an expanding range of statutory responsibilities. He said the recently suspended nationwide continuous voter registration exercise is expected to result in a consolidated voter register of more than 100 million voters, highlighting the scale of the Commission's responsibilities. Governor Ademola Adeleke of Osun State has received his certificate of return following his victory in the August 15, 2026 governorship election. He received the certificate at the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC office, saying that it belonged to the people of Osun State. An excited Adeleke danced amid cheers and jubilation from Accord Party members and supporters. Speaking at the ceremony, Adeleke said he had forgiven all those who might have offended him during the state elections and declared that he bore no grudge against political adversaries. While announcing a 500 million naira education scholarship for victims of political violence, the governor commends INEC for acting professionally and within the dictates of the Electoral Act. On security matters, the Plateau State Police Command has arrested a suspect in connection with the killing of 25 people and the injury of 4 others in attack in Bampa village in Kombon district of Mango local government area. The attack prompted renewed security measures in the area within the General Officer Commanding GOC 3 Division Nigeria Army, Major General Maxwell Dangana, moving his tactical office to Mangu for 2 weeks to directly supervise the operation. The Nigerian Army has also launched Operation Hard Nuts to flush out terrorists and other criminal elements operating in the area and restore normalcy. The police public relations officer, Alfred Alabo, who confirmed the arrest in a telephone interview with newsmen, said the command is making headway in its investigation and is still on the trial of other attackers involved in the deadly assaults. He said the suspect in custody is believed to be a mastermind of the attack and assured that efforts are ongoing to apprehend other suspects and bring all those responsible for the killings to justice. In Africa, Sudan's army says 318 Rapid Support Forces fighters, including 4 commanders, have defected and joined its rank in the latest apparent surrender by paramilitary personnel. The move comes as defection increased and fighting continues to devastate the country's more than 3 years in war. A group of 318 members of Sudan's Rapid Support Forces, including 4 commanders, have defected to Sudanese army. According to Sudanese authorities, the group reportedly arrived with up to 50 combat vehicles and announced its decision to join the armed forces in Al-Dabar locality in northern states. Border Guards Commander Mohamed Salah Younes says the army will welcome those choosing to return to its rank, adding that military forces will continue efforts to restore security across the country. On the foreign scene, at least 23 people have been killed and 5 others injured after a bus carrying patients and healthcare workers to hospital collided head-on with a truck in southern Brazil. Brazilian authorities said the crash occurred on the BR-373 highway in the state of Paraná, near the city of Ipiranga. According to the report, most of those killed were traveling on the bus, which belonged to the Municipal Health Department of Imbituva. The truck driver was also killed. Hara police says the bus was carrying patients and their companion to hospitals in and around Paraná's capital, Curitiba, around 110 miles away. Preliminary evidence suggests the truck crossed into the opposite lane before colliding with the bus, as investigators are working to determine what caused the truck to veer across the highway. Still to come in the news, National Information Technology Development Agencies calls for interagency execution of Startup Act. Stay tuned for detail of this in a moment.
What's on your mind today? The goal by Victor Osimhen was amazing.
The economy, isn't that what's on everybody's mind?
I would like to see more women in positions of authority. If you heard and saw it from CEMTV, you can take it to the bank. CEMTV, your reliable source of news, information, and entertainment.
Thanks for staying tuned. Now to the rest of the news stories. In business, the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, has called for a unified cross-section push to translate the framework of the Nigerian Startup Act, NSA, into practical benefits for local entrepreneurs and investors. Speaking at the NSA Incentive Activation Co-Creation Sector in Abuja, organized by NITDA subsidiary, the Office of Nigeria's Digital Innovation, ONTI, the NITDA Director General, Kashifu Inua, stressed that while enacting the legislation was a historic milestone, its ultimate success will be measured by the tangible impact on everyday tech venture. Represented by ONGI National Coordination, Victoria Fabumi Inua, who emphasized that Nigeria must now transition from policy design to operational delivery, noted that while early structural achievements such as setting up the Startup Consultative Forum and launching the Digital Startup Portal have established vital channels for dialogue, the true test of the law lies in whether founders can easily access the relief and resources promised to them. He said the establishment of the Startup Consultative Forum and its governance structures had created an important platform for sustained engagement among stakeholders, but stressed that the real test of the legislation would be its part of businesses operating within the innovative ecosystem. In sports, Aston Villa has completed the signing of Japan international goalkeeper Zion Suzuki from Parma, strengthening Unai Emery's squad ahead of the new Premier League session. Suzuki joined the English club in a 30 million euro deal with a further 5 million euro in add-ons. The 23-year-old signed a long-term contract with Villa after establishing himself as one of the most promising young goalkeepers in European football. The move follows Villa's completion of the signing of Italian left-back Matteo Ruggeri during an active summer transfer window. Suzuki previously attracted interest from Paris Saint-Germain before that proposed move collapsed, allowing Villa to secure his services. Now on entertainment, Nigerian rapper Emeka Akuma, popularly known as Black Bones, say he will not follow rapper Odumodu Black to court over an allegation of sexual abuse made against him. Black Bones made this known during an interview with newsmen on the ongoing feud between him and Odumodu Black. The rapper explained that he initially ignored the controversy because he is not bothered about being portrayed as a bad person, but decided to respond after the sexual abuse allegation was made against him. The rapper insisted that the matter should be settled in court, challenging Odumodu to prove the allegation against him. He also says the disruption between both artists reportedly started over a woman they met at the same location in June or July 2023. That is it on CEMTV News, but before we go, a quick recap of the major stories. We started off by informing you that Governor Fubara has urged parties to respect Rivers' reconciliation process, saying peace remains central to development. We informed you that President Tinubu has directed Economic and Financial Crimes Commission recoveries dormant fund to Nigerian Education Loan Fund. We told you that a Brazilian bus has crashed, killing at least 23 and injured 5 in Paraná State. We also brought you a report that the National Information Technology Development Agency has called for interagency execution of startup acts. Many thanks for watching CEMTV News at 7. Do ensure to follow us via our social media handles at CEMTV Plus across X, Facebook, Thread and Instagram. We're also available on Nikon Search channel. Do well to watch us on free to air. I am Miracle Wobo. Enjoy the rest of your day and bye for now.
This is CEMTV News at 7.